If you had 30 minutes to hide from a nuclear blast, where would you go? I'd always heard a basement of a library is good because books may absorb some radiation. I work at a nuclear pharmacy which has dosimeters, Geiger counters, potassium iodide tablets, radiac spray, PPE and lead, and the break room office is an extra vault that was made to house a particle accelerator known as a cyclotron. I'm at work right now. So, assuming I'm safe from the initial blast radius, I'd probably go sit at my desk, scroll through Reddit and watch the world end. The Eisenhower Tunnel on I-70 in Colorado, 1.7 miles long, unless it turns into Stephen King's The Stand. I would probably go to the bank and ask to go to where I stored valuables. Hide? I ain't getting drafted for WW3. This bomb gonna send me. The nearest city is over 30 miles away, and it's all open country from where I am and for at least another 10 miles to the mountains in the other direction. Either I'd jump in the truck and try to make it to the mountains through the res or crawl under the house and hope for the best. There is an old building near me that has a basement. I know what boards to move to get into the basement from the outside. It's the only building I know of within about 100 miles that is entirely reinforced brick masonry with a basement, and I'm sure I'd spend the apocalyptic event chatting with several homeless people who also know about the board. We'd all survive though. There's a building at the college I work at that goes 80 feet underground and has 6-foot thick inward-sloping concrete walls. I'll be in there. I would find the nearest elementary school and hide under one of the desks. Anyway, that's what we were taught when I was in elementary school. There's a fallout shelter in a bank about a mile down from where I live that was built back in the 60s. I'd probably yoink some snacks and a bottle of Jack from the kitchen and sprint down there, then hunker down for a few days. If it's locked, then, well, I can polish off the Jack and wait for the fireworks. Subway system, sewer system. Underground basically. Edit. Thanks for my most upvoted comment ever. You all make great points. I think it's really situational, depends on blast radius, distance, etc. Overall, not an easy thing to survive. Oh God, did I miss something in the news today? To bed for a 30-minute nap. I'd try to do that guy jacking off from Pompeii thing. I feel like someone should pay that forward. I'd probably climb up onto my roof with a lawn chair and a cold beer and watch everything go to shit. To the liquor store, so I could hide from my problems the way I always do. I would go buy all the frozen pizzas I could carry and head to the flavor zone. I'm going to dig the deepest trench possible in 30 minutes. Under the blankets, nothing can get you under there. I'm not within death radius of any place that could plausibly be nuked. Even if someone decided to go abso-fucking-lutely nuts on us in Australia and sent 10 nukes at Melbourne, I can't see them hitting Frankston, Cranbourne and Mornington, the 3 closest semi-plausible targets. I'd shelter in place. I'd go outside and wait to die. I am not gonna deal with that shit. There is an old library built in the 1960s less than a mile from my house with a basement fallout shelter. I know because I always see the old 1960s fallout shelter signs and consider stealing one, but the potential of getting caught and being banned from the library for the rest of my life stops me every time. A grocery store. Eat everything you can before you die. I think I'd find a chain link fence near a playground. Might as well go out the way I lived. Embracing my knowledge of useless pop culture references like it's a talent. Edit. SP. The afterlife. The nuclear blast won't be able to kill me if I kill myself first. I'd go have a pint at the Winchester and wait for the whole thing to blow over. Tell my friends, guys, we're playing Fallout today. If I knew it was coming, I'd just drive away. Distance makes all the difference with nuclear blasts. I'm close to mountains in the outer suburbs of a big city. I'd drive in that mountain direction as we often have winds from there. Minimal fallout that way too. If leaving the city was not an option, I'd just hit up my basement. It's below ground enough that I think I'd be fairly safe. I'd gather my dogs and cats and go up to our bedroom and cuddle my husband. Give the doggies and kitties some treats on the bed and hope they don't jump off so that my last moments are a cuddle fest. Drive away from the blast. It should take less than 30 minutes to get out of the blast area. How far am I from the epicenter? Is it a city? How large of a city is it? If it just happens to be where I currently am, then I'd drive north. I live in a rural area, so not the traffic you'd find in and around a city, and at this time of year the wind mostly comes from the north-northwest, so I'd be driving away from the fallout. I'd just drive as far and as fast as I could. Reach over into my nightstand junk drawer and pull out my old Nokia 3310 to shield myself from the blast. I'd grab a six-pack, grab a chair and sit outside calling my family and friends while waiting for the end. I'm not suicidal, but any world that would exist after my city gets bombed would be unrecognizable and probably not worth surviving for. A pillow fort. I'm safe in there. Down the street, into the woods, up the path, over the creek, up the hill and into Vault 111. Pornhub to have my last vap and then freak out for 29 minutes. I would not hide, I will stay outside. I know where the nuke is going to be, so I go closer. I rather not have the most depressing years of my life. I can't do anything, so I rather just die than live the worst moments of my entire life. I drive like crazy for 30 minutes. If I drive at 100 kilometers per hour, I would be 50 kilometers from the center of the explosion. A good distance. Switzerland, they have the 110% capacity of their population in bunkers, so there's room for me. I'll chop my head off and put it in the microwave to protect it from the radiation. Outside because fuck it. Bye. I'm a diabetic and on dialysis. Even if I did survive initially, I wouldn't for very long afterwards. I'd just load Fallout on the PS4 and laugh at the irony. I'll just get blown up. Die with my family. I live in a super small country called Singapore. If a nuke ever detonates in the center of Singapore, the whole country whole disappear. I would lose everything I know and love. Friends, family and everything. I rather just disappear than go to the underground train system and slowly rot there and starve. Towards Ground Zero. To the gas station to get some beer and cigarettes. Right where Ground Zero will be in 30 minutes, and just eat something tasty. Finally I call someone at the very last minute and say, "Oh, by the way, remember I had 2 million in the bank. The account number is blast." I'd head for my husband and give it one last ride, because ain't no way I'm hiding from a nuclear blast in this real regular house I live in. At that point just kill me. I don't have time for that shit. As someone who received an emergency alert on their cell phone around 8 a.m. on Oahu, Hawaii, I just said, fuck it, and stayed in my bedroom. I was hyperventilating and couldn't calm down for weeks afterwards, even panicking after seeing that message on the TV news every night. I'm on an island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and I have no idea where I can go to safely ride out a nuclear blast. Edit. Reading other local people's stories of that day is triggering that same panic feeling right now, and it's early evening, when I need to sleep soon. I need to calm down by playing GTA V or Fallout 4. How big is the explosion? Am I at the epicenter? I live near a highway, so I would get in my car and drive. I'm not aware of any shelter that could weather the blast, so the safest place for me to go is as far away as possible. Most nuclear blasts are survivable from over 2 miles away, so I would just hop in my car and drive. Unless everybody knew about it and the roads were blocked. In which case I go down a manhole into the sewers. Sit on the toilet. If I die, I'll die doing what I love. 1 underground. Subway, bunker, sewer. 2 a grocery store with butcher shop. They usually have big metal refrigerators. Or a restaurant. The amount of people wanting to go towards the blast is absolutely spot on for how many of us just want to end it because of this year. In the blast. Why would I let a chance for a free superpower go to waste? I can really say I'm built different. Hell, probably. My high school's basement is technically a Cold War bomb shelter. Harrison Ford's fridge. I'm fine. No one is nuking rural Indiana. Probably go outside with my boombox blasting Mr. Blue Sky while dancing. I'd crawl inside my own ass, thereby creating a black hole which would absorb the nuclear blast, thus saving the city. I'd be overwhelmed. Way too much choice. Source: I'm Swiss. I live on flat land surrounded by flat land with no subways or sewers that would fit a human, so would give everyone I lived a phone call and make as much peace with things as I can. I would probably cry and then systematically go through all the stages of grief, wishing the whole time I could see my sons growing up. Nowhere. My place is so serene. I would bring my dogs inside, give them lots of codeine and lots of lovely food, then humanely euthanize them, unless I knew they would die quickly from the radiation. I would then go to my drinks cabinet and get out everything. We would start with the champagne in the fridge, and continue with Hemingway daiquiris, Vesper martinis, and everything else in the drinks cabinet, then take all the codeine in the house, and sit on the balcony. It is our sanctuary. No point in trying to hide, as you could be stuck in that place for years, due to the fallout. I don't want to be stuck in a bunker for the rest of my life.